Today I'm going to be showing you how to switch out a bifold door for just a regular door. We have this bifold door in our basement. It has slats. It was perfectly fine, but we have toddlers and they would somehow open the door, ram into it, and then all these came down. I wanted to glue them back on, but then all the slats started falling and it was just a big hassle. So the first thing I did was measure the door, and that way I made sure that an actual door would fit. So what I'm going to do first is take out this bifold door, take out all the track system at the top, and then we're just going to bring in our new door and then to a test fit. So usually my cheating way to see if I have to notch out the doors is to just put the hinges, and if there's enough clearance for me to easily put them in, then I try and just install them on the door without notching out. This one is a bit tight, and then the bottom is definitely pretty tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to take the door down, mark where I want the hinges, chisel it out, and then screw it in from there. So we only have 2 hinges on the rest of our doors, so I just copied the same thing, and ours is 8 inches from the top. So essentially I just trace this out. I was hoping we can get by with just a normal kind of drawer handle, but there is a bit of like play in the door here. So what we're going to do is install a normal door handle. So I have my handle, and it's just one for closets, so there's no locks or anything, and that'll be perfect for this application. Essentially, you want to read all your instructions for your doorknobs, and because it's a slab door, we're going to be installing our own hole. Now there are kits like for the hinges and for the strike plate and all that you can get, like a little thing that'll drill it for you. I don't have any of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I decided that I want my doorknob to be kind of in the center of this panel. You can try and match it to existing doors that you have, or the instructions say like a recommended height, or if code requires something where you live. For me, this is a closet door. It's not really egress, nothing important, so I want to go with like the most visual one, like what's going to look the best according to what I think. So just get my little ruler here and just kind of measure. We have a 7-inch here, so that's 3.5, and then I'm just going to make another line here. I've gone ahead and primed my door a couple of coats too, so that was a lot easier before I installed the knob. And this should come with your instructions. There's 2. There's one in the instructions, and then there's this little template card. So I'm just going to line up my first line. I started my hole. Basically I was using a 2 1/8 bit, which is what the doorknob instructions call for. Anytime you are using these big bits, you want to make sure you're really holding on, you have a steady surface. I find definitely like the bigger you go, you get a lot of kickback from the drill, so make sure you have 2 hands at all times. I thought I was filming doing it, but apparently I was not, and my drill battery died, so now I'm back at it again. So I'm going to continue this hole, and I just have something placed behind the door to kind of hold it so I can push against it. And again, you want to try and go as straight as possible and through. And then you start, I have one with a little, the extra drill bit that sticks out, so it's a lot easier to line up your hole that way. If you have some, there are some bits like this, like the big saw blades, that don't have, and I find that you get a lot of movement that way. So if you need to buy one, I would suggest getting one with the little attachment. I'm going to now switch to my 1-inch drill bit, and that's because I'm using the method. You can either use a 1-inch or 7/8 for our doorknob that we have, depending if you're using the little plate or you're just doing a hole. I think it's easier to do the hole. I mean, it doesn't look as nice, but it's easier than to have to notch out for the plate. At least that's what I think. So you drill your big hole first, and then that way you know when to stop drilling this hole. And once again, line it up. Now it seems like the door is pretty much almost that width, so you want to make sure that you're pretty centered. And again, you should have used the template to drill through properly. So I have both my holes drilled. I switched to the little circle one, and I'm just going to put that in. You want the doorknob, or you want the little latch to be into the door and not the flat side on the door, obviously, or it won't work. And then grab my things, line it up with your hole, put it in, put the other side in, and so they match up. And you just drill that together. I'm going to actually erase these lines first before, but then your doorknob is installed. If you have a doorknob with a lock, it's a bit trickier. You just want to make sure you put it the right way so that the lock is the lock and not the unlock. But this one's pretty straightforward. Okay, so I have my doorknob installed here. Everything is working good. And now I just have to install the strike plate, which is the little piece that the knob hits. I mean, otherwise, it's going to mark up your door, it's going to mark up your jamb, I should say, your door frame. And I mean, if you don't have a hole, then there's no point really, because it's just going to keep going back and forth. Your hole is going to stop it. So for me, that's pretty easy because mine is rubbing, and the little sticky out part here is marking where I need to put it. So that's pretty easy. I'm going to kind of line this up, mark where I need to put my hole, drill another big hole in there, and then screw on